Hello. Welcome to the Sacral Chakra Yoga Exploration, and welcome to the Boulder Reservoir. I'm enjoying the sun, the breeze, and tuning into my sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is below the navel. For female bodies, it includes the womb, and the element is water. The sacral chakra is about sensuality, pleasure, that attraction, polarity, the drawing together of two different energies, the masculine and the feminine. The penetrative and receptive. It's that kind of, that energy that is excited by the energy of another and of the energy of creation. So I invite you all to, you can either sit as I'm sitting, it gives more room for the rocking of the pelvis, or if you want to take a crisscross seat on the ground, whatever feels good to you in your body. Perhaps placing your hands here in this sacral location. Tuning into how this area of the body feels for you. Is there tightness? Is there flow? Is there pain? Is there pleasure? And perhaps beginning to rock the pelvis forward and back, and imagine the movement initiating from this part of your body, the sacral. As you exhale, you draw the sacral in towards your spine, draw the energy in. And as you inhale, you come forward and feel the sacral part of your body, this lower abdomen below the navel, expand. Rocking backwards, you contract and pull this area in, exhaling. Inhaling, rocking forward, pressing out, expanding, feeling. Moving at your own pace. Do you ever limit the amount of pleasure that you can feel in your body? Do you have a ceiling? Guy Hendricks talks about an upper limit, a ceiling of how much pleasure we'll allow ourselves, how much joy, how much love, how much sexuality, all of these expansive energies, how much you'll allow yourself before it becomes too much and you come back down, you have to contract. And that's okay. It's expansion and contraction is life. It's the pulsing of each of us. So tuning into those themes throughout this class: water, flow, polarity, energetic attraction, desire, pleasure, and getting curious about that upper limit. pulsing and bouncing and breathing and flowing through this class, I invite you to come onto your hands and knees. Starting with a standard cat-cow, dropping the belly, lifting the chest, arching the back as you inhale. Exhale, rounding the spine, pressing into the palms, tucking the head and tailbone. Exhale. So now moving at your own pace, with your own unique rhythm and breath. And this time, tuning into our hips. The hips will be another major theme of this sacral class. And perhaps inviting the hips to rotate, to create circles, to undulate, and just feeling into your body what feels good to you in this moment. How much pleasure can you receive from movement, from your own body? So getting creative here. And just feeling that movement, that watery, sensual flow in your own body. Bringing your left knee back just a few inches, I invite you to move your right hand in just a few inches and then step with your right foot just next to your right hand, just to the right of your right hand. And begin to bounce. We'll be working with the pulse as well. So finding a pulse here, a bounce. If you want even more stretch, you might want to twist. And coming back to center, drawing your hips back, allowing your front leg to straighten. And then stepping into your right front foot, finding the ball of your back left, finding your own balance and rising up into a high lunge. Bringing your arms up overhead, perhaps reaching gently from one side and then the other, and then finding a bounce. Inviting your shoulders to lower a little bit so that you have a bit more space between your ears and your shoulders. And again, finding that bounce, that movement. Maybe it even initiates from partly the root, but also the sacral. Feeling that bounce in the sacral chakra as you feel it in your legs. And then pivoting open, coming into warrior two. Your back foot is perpendicular to the front. Your pelvis is not arching back, but is tucked, so that you have strong support of your hips and then your shoulders stacked over your hips. Arms nice and long. And finding your subtle bounce here. Perhaps it's much more subtle than the last one, but what would it feel like to bring some movement into this shape? And on your next inhale, bringing bigger movement by reaching your front arm forward and then flipping your front palm, reaching up and back, and then moving forward and down with your right hand, your left arm straight and strong, aligned with your bottom right. And then finding movement between this reverse warrior and coming down to the earth. front arm can come up overhead. The left reaches far ahead of you, feeling that opening in the side body. And then grounding into the front leg, you rise back up. Moving through these just a few more times. Finding your own flow. And not forgetting your breath. Then rising all the way back up, straightening the right leg, bringing the toes in so that they're parallel. Arms come out to a T, hips come back, hinging, you fold down. Taking a moment to pause here. Perhaps your hands stay on the ground beneath your shoulders. Perhaps they come to either ankle. And then rising halfway up with a flat back, pressing your palms into the earth, drawing your heels in, your toes out, bum down, unfolding into goddess. And here again, finding just a little movement. Maybe today it's subtle for you, maybe today it's big, whatever feels right for you. But finding a bounce, finding a little flow in goddess. Remembering your breath, always moving as well. Finding your creative expression. The sacral chakra is also about creative expression. A few more breaths here. And then pivoting so that your left foot is now forward. And if you have to turn around to see the camera, I just realized, however you want to be oriented so that your left foot is forward. You're bending your left front knee on the ball of your back right foot so that you're up in this high lunge. And finding a pulse here. Tuning into the sacral chakra area of your low belly. What's happening here? Can you bring more life to this area of the body? Then pivoting the back right foot so that it's perpendicular with the front left, finding your warrior two. Remembering your breath here as an anchor in all of this movement and all of this flow. And then flipping your front left hand, reaching forward just slightly and then back. Reverse warrior. Reaching the left arm forward and down, bringing the right arm to stack up above it, long straight line, eyes up at the right hand. Breathing here. And then finding flow between those two positions. What does it feel like in your body to find your own rhythm and flow? Perhaps, as I'm doing, you want to try straightening the leg, whatever feels good to you. Perhaps incorporating your arms more in the flow. Again, finding that bounce in warrior two. And then pivoting the left foot so that it parallels the back. Hands come to the sacral chakra area. I'm just taking a moment to tune in, to find your breath. For heel-toeing or stepping your feet in and coming to a stand. Taking a moment to ground down into the soles of your feet, unlock your knees if they're locked, bring a little bounce into the stance, and feel your feet pressing into the earth evenly. What can it feel like to, like the root chakra exploration, drawing energy up through the soles of your feet, bringing them up your legs, into your root, your pelvic floor, and allowing that energy now to rise a little bit higher into the sacral chakra area. And finding some movement there. Again, drawing that energy up through the soles of the feet, up through the legs, into that sacral chakra area. And allowing your lower body to move, to pulse in whatever way feels good. Perhaps some little hip circles as well. And then bringing your arms out to the side and up overhead, palms pressing, reaching high into the sky, feet pressing down into the earth. And then drawing the palms down through your center line. And coming to rest on your sacral chakra. Again, I ask, in what ways am I limiting pleasure in my life? And then taking a little shake. Rolling the shoulders up and down. And then coming down onto your mat into a tabletop position, and then bringing the knees out wide and sinking back into child's pose. Perhaps, again, if it feels good to you, finding some movement here, a little bounce. Feeling the pulse of life. And then coming forward, bringing your knees underneath your hips again, and then pressing back into a high plank. Hands are stacked under the shoulders, trying to make one straight line with your body. And again, finding the bounce, the pulse, rocking forward and back. Or maybe you want to dip side to side, but we'll be here for 30 more seconds. Rocking, breathing. 15, 14, 13, you got it. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting back onto your heels, taking some deep breaths. And then joining me in this motion. With every inhale, your chest comes forward, arching the back. It's sort of a seated cat-cow. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking. Perhaps incorporating your arms. And then finding your way into downward facing dog. Bringing your right leg back behind you, straight and long. And we'll do a few taps here, tapping the toe down, lifting it up. And then rotating open so that your hips stack, your right leg bends, right knee on the line of your left knee. Lifting that right knee high, high, high to the sky. And then drawing it all the way through, still bent to rest in half pigeon. So your right ankle might be a foot behind your left hand, or maybe it's nice and parallel to the edge of your mat, but mine's tucked back a bit. And if this is still uncomfortable for you, you could tuck a pillow or a block underneath your right bum, your right butt cheek, your right hip. And then maybe coming forward or staying up and finding a bounce. If you've come forward and your elbows are on the ground, maybe rocking from side to side. That feels really nice. Tuning into your breath. And then if you're down, coming up again and placing your left hand on the mat, your right arm opens behind. Maybe it even touches your extended back leg. Finding this twist. And if you've done it before, this is a very strong quad stretch. So if you have not done it, don't worry about it, just stay here enjoying half pigeon. If you would like an intense quad stretch, grabbing the back ankle. And breathing here. And then drawing your back leg around and forward so that your left ankle stacks on top of your right thigh. And perhaps you inch your right ankle, the one on the ground, a little bit forward. And either stay here, and perhaps your legs are like that, and that's awesome. Stay here, or you could come down forward like this. I used to be very tight, and when I lived in Botswana, every night for 2 years, I stretched before sleeping, and yeah, really flexibility is in the practice. And it feels really good. So breathing here into the stretch. And then rising up and coming onto a tabletop. Pressing back into downward facing dog. And then lifting your left leg back high behind you. Doing some taps here, toes to the ground and up again as we did on the other side. And then twisting open, stacking the hips and the knees, lifting that left knee high into the sky. Holding here, opening, opening. And then bringing it forward, half pigeon on the other side. Again, finding what position feels best to you right now. You're welcome to incorporate some movement. Can you take pleasure in the experience of stretching? Even if there's some tightness or discomfort, how much pleasure can you allow yourself to experience? And then if you did on the other side and you'd like to ground down your right hand and open up your left, perhaps touching your extended leg. A nice shoulder opener. And if you want that strong quad stretch, grabbing the back foot or ankle. Finding your breath. Breathing helps deepen the stretch. Bringing the back leg around, right ankle onto left thigh, scooching that left ankle forward maybe, and then coming forward again. Legs are like that, that's awesome. As long as you're feeling a stretch and not pushing too hard, you don't want to pull anything, but just breathing with a little discomfort. And then rising back up and finding your way onto the mat. Knees are bent still, back on the ground. And then drawing both knees in. Right one towards right shoulder, left towards left shoulder, pulling them in and feeling an opening as well. Then grabbing onto the soles of your feet. My elbows are inside my knees. On the outside of my foot is my hand. Finding happy baby, rocking, massaging the low back, the area behind the sacral. And then bringing the soles of your feet to meet and then rest on the earth. Your arms can come up overhead, bending the elbows, your hands lie one in the other. Allowing your body to gently open here. Tuning into the sacral chakra. What's happening in your body? What do you feel in this area of the sacral chakra? The womb and also the low belly beneath the navel. And then extending the left leg and bringing the right knee in, clasping hands outside the right knee and drawing it up to the right shoulder, really pulling, compressing here. Breathing here as you pull tight and compress. And then drawing the right leg over the left side body, teeing out the right arm from the right shoulder, gaze goes out towards the right hand, letting gravity pull you into this twist, spinal twist, and yeah, what's happening in the sacral here as well. It's really twisting very much at the sacral. Sacral and solar plexus, which will be the next class. So then unwinding your body, switching out the legs, drawing in the left knee towards the left shoulder, pulling it in tight. And then twisting over the side body, left arm comes out. Gaze to the left. Breathing here for a few more moments. And then coming to find a seated position. Taking some deep breaths here. I invite you to take in 3 different things with your eyes. We're going to play with the 5 senses now. So looking around in whatever area you're in and choosing one thing at a time to focus your vision on. And really take it in. Perhaps feeling your body as you visually observe something with full attention. Now coming into your hands, the sense of touch. I invite you to touch a few different things, perhaps starting with your body. What does it feel like? Your sense of touch. How sensitive can you become to it? And maybe what happens in your sacral chakra, what happens in your body as you tune into the sense of touch. And now ears. What are you hearing in your environment? Can you really tune into the sensation of listening? Maybe what do your ears feel like? How do they open when you're tuning into listening? How does your body want to move as you listen? And then the sense of smell. And this one, in we humans, can get really dampened, so really trying to tune into your sense of smell. What are you smelling? Taking time to smell different things. Yourself may be one of them. And the last one being taste. Starting with your own mouth. What do you taste? And perhaps if you have a drink somewhere next to you, it's easy to grab, perhaps tasting whatever that drink is. How does your mouth come alive when you focus on taste? And how does your body want to move as you focus on taste? And now, maybe the tricky part, coming back into your body. You've just focused hyper vigilantly on each different sense. I would say another sense is the embodied sense, your inner subtle sensations. And really taking a moment to feel what it feels like to be in your body right now. Perhaps subtly scanning the body, or maybe movement helps you feel embodied. but being able to feel what it feels like to be in your body and what subtle sensations are moving through your body, and how does your body want to move? So as you move through the rest of your day, I invite you to be aware of and be aware of your own unique rhythm and movement and flow. What does it feel like to be in your body, and how does your body want to move? And as you move through the rest of your week, I invite you to get curious about this upper limit. In what ways do you limit the amount of pleasure and expansion and joy and love that you could allow yourself to feel? Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful to be doing this project and to be sharing it with you. And I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of your day. And allow your sacral waters to move and flow to your own pleasure and your own desire. Thank you, thank you, thank you.